That's right, you are now listening to Tommy Tom's One Mic. Warning, this podcast contains explicit language, triggering or sensitive topics, and controversial discussions. Thank you so much for tuning in to Tommy Tom's One Mic.
I'm Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Flip personality, you know it's I. You never seen my kind, never seen a fucking sliver or a slice. I'm the butcher, choice cuts, know I'm nice. You got beef? I got waggle with a knife. Now I'm gonna be wrapping up bodies up at night. Like Ray Charles, y'all know I'm out of sight. Now I'm gonna be slaying niggas, cause you know I love the life. Yo, you gotta read between the lines. I'm only gonna be moving when I'm read through all the signs. Johnny Mnemonic, I got an upgraded mind. This is for the rebels and their revolutionary minds. Cybernetic linguistics, you know I'm on my mind. Prototype the new dimension, man, that shit is mine. Future is creation and creation is sublime. Make your own legend, only happens with time.
Let's hit the mic.
Hey guys, welcome back to Tommy Tom and One Mic. And today, I want to say I have someone I've become a fan of. I fangirl over, I'm not going to lie. She is a musician, avid horse enthusiast, and master of the knives, Miss Antique Mascara.
Thank you for that lovely introduction.
Thank you. I am a fan. I first found Antique on Facebook. I was looking for local musicians to try and put on some of the shows that I was doing. And I found this Mohawk, badass black chick just chilling there. And I was like, I'm curious. Listen to her music. And I was like, you know what? I want this. And I very cautiously sent out a message. I was like, all right, how do I do this? Because still new at it in the producing the shows. And I was like, all right, how do I just like come across and ask, hey, you want to play at my show or something, and not sound like a jackass? I guess these were my worries at the time. She graciously accepted, came and performed, and I've never told her this, but I was highly intimidated by Antique when I first saw her.
I get that a lot. I don't know why.
it's you're just so cool. That's it sounds corny. And the best example I think I told you is when you got up to play at the show. I'm standing there, and girl we had taking pictures for the show and all that, she's standing there, she's like, wow, she's so cool. Do you think she'll be my friend? And I was like, of course she'd be your friend and all that. But then in my head, I was like, damn, I wonder if she'd be my friend too. It's just one of those like nervous moments and all that. It's just like one of these things where I was just like, oh, I feel like such a loser instantly standing next to her. It's like I'm trying to do the Mohawk, but no, I just don't compare with her Mohawk. It's just
no. It's okay. No, that was a really fun night. I really enjoyed it.
Yep.
Rebecca Work, right? That was the photographer. Yeah. She didn't message me. Why didn't she be my friend?
It's the intimidation. It's you're just. I was still intimidated. Like just imagine, it's like, all right, works. It's like I gotta feel like I talk super professional when I like messages. Like, how do I do this? And I was like, I look back at what I'm like. I look over the messages I send you. I'm like, do I sound like too much of a jackass? Do I? All right, let me.
You're gonna be like, yo, what up, bitch?
It's like I want to be formal, but not too formal, because I've always been curious. Like I get to book people for shows, but most of the time I see them is when I'm working the shows, and I'm too busy. My focus is elsewhere.
Oh, that reminds me. How is your sexy mom?
Oh, my mom.
She was so adorable.
That's like what every like female in my life says. They see my mom and it's like, oh, she's so adorable. Nope, she's good. She's down in Georgia. I honestly haven't seen them almost going on 2 years. 2 years?
Oh, wow.
Because I think I booked you for the show that I was going to do my roast for.
Right.
And that was when things started all just shutting down and closing. And they live in Georgia, so they couldn't come up.
Right.
And that would have been 6 to 10 months back then. I hadn't seen them because they always come up for all my shows. And, you know, with all the blocks and travel, they can't really come up from Georgia. So it's been almost like 2 years. but they're doing good.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah. I never really got to ask you, how did you actually get into music? Because as I told you before, I went into a deep dive into your YouTube, going back like 7 6 years
that
and
only
all that.
yeah, that started only like after my life started, which was 7 years ago. No, 8 now, I think. But anyway, long story short, I used to be a part of a cult, like the Jehovah's Witness cult, the ones that knock on your
Oh yeah.
doors. Yeah, I was raised in that and would not wish that life on anyone, let me tell you. But I left that. And well, while we were in it, you know how Jehovah's Witnesses, they can't do birthday parties, they can't do Christmas and all this stuff. We used to make our own parties. We'd have talent shows and all this stuff. And my family was really musical. My mom, she's Black. She's the one that can sing. And my dad, he can sing sometimes, but he's kind of tone deaf. So I got in between. She has the gorgeous voice. But we used to, I don't know, act out all sorts of things and sing. And being raised in that atmosphere, we weren't really allowed to share our emotions because they were terrifying, like, oh my goodness, what if we can't fix it? And, if you ignore emotions, as we all know, they go away, right? So
Yeah.
music was our secret way of feeling. And yeah, seriously, because besides music, there was just the religion. That's how we were all raised. And so that was the escape. So music became a very, very important part of my life, really young.
No, that's like, how do I say? It's interesting coming from that like environment and then finally getting that like freedom. Like you have that. Like I know I grew up very religious in the church and all that. And when you're Mormon, usually the thought is, all right, when you graduate high school, you're going to serve a mission. And then from the mission, then you're probably going to go to like BYU or something. You're going to go to one of the Mormon colleges or something, get married, have kids, do the basic thing. And I think from the time I was like 12, I was always like, nope, I'm not serving the mission. Not serving I'm not doing that. I always had that kind of, I was like the in-between kid, where it's like, we had religion, we're going to do that. It's like, I respect it and all that, but I'm still going to do my own thing. Still going to smoke pot. I'm still going to drink. I'm going to explore certain things and whatnot. So, and it was always in my mind. So it's like, I'm not going to play church, but I'm also not going to like disrespect it in a way.
Right. I was like that for a while. Like I went in and out because when you leave, you're not allowed to talk to your family. Your family like pretends you're dead. So I would miss my family and I would go back. So that happened a couple of times. But the third time, I became aware of the pedophile activities in the church and a bunch of stuff. Like they deal with it inside. They don't report it to the police. And I know this like first person experience. It's not good. And after that, I couldn't live with that. Like they preach love and all this stuff, and they're going to do that kind of stuff, like just to shield themselves from the view of the public, so the public can't see what's going on inside. They try to make it look,
They want the perfect image,
exactly,
as opposed to just being real.
Yeah. Meanwhile, there's all these lawsuits with people touching kids. Like, no, that's it. If you believe in God, I don't think that's where God is in a place like that. So, part of what I've been trying to do since I left all that is let people know they're more than just knocking on doors. There's a lot going on in there, which is why I don't want to be associated with it at all. So, like I said, it was 2013 where I don't know how deep you want me to go, but at the time,
it's up to you. Like I'm not going to push you and be like, I'm not going to get like closer up to the screen and be like, so what else? What else is? Tell me more, huh? No.
Well,
it's free to you.
The last time I went back into the church, I was living with this guy, and I couldn't go back. I couldn't, go back without marrying him or leaving him, because So I ended up marrying him, and he ended up like following me kind of in the church, and then he got addicted to pills and all this stuff, and he ended up passing away a couple years after we separated. But like, been through a lot of shit, man. But I guess that's kind of where the first album comes from. A lot of that stuff.
You have a very what can I say, like jazzy, kind of like funk thing. That's always like the vibe I got from you.
Thank you. I
Like
have
your
such a
own.
hard time describing my own music. Like,
It's very unique, but you can feel like, I don't know, I can sense that influence. My mom, my adorable mother, as you point out, or no, I won't say what you said because it feels weird if I call her that. All right.
Okay, fine.
But she's a piano teacher, so I was embedded with classical music first. That's why I always enjoy
Nice.
piano and stuff like that. So I have that base. So when I hear performers and all that, I do have like an ear for certain things and all that. And I did get that. You can get the alternative kind of rock, but there's that funk and soul kind of thing that you do with it too, where you're also kind of like, I'll say almost slam poetry in a way mixed in.
Yeah, I don't know, the only jazz that I'm really into is like Billie Holiday and Ella Fitzgerald and Lena Horne, Nina Simone, and then there's good old Benny Goodman and all that stuff. I'm really into stuff from the 30s and 40s. Besides that, I guess, have you heard of Portishead?
No.
No. Okay. Portishead is kind of a, I guess, trip hop band, electronic. Have you heard of Poe?
Nope, I cannot say I've heard of Poe.
Poe. Oh, that takes me back. I haven't heard her in a long time, but she was just a really amazing songwriter, and she went through some stuff with her record company, so she only made a couple of albums. And but I really looked up to her in my teens as like a strong woman role model, because my mom was not that.
No.
No, she was the opposite. And you've heard of Fiona Apple? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, we got one.
See, I'm so like all over the place with my music. For me, something different and, I don't know, unique in my own ear. Something that I can't just hear on the radio all the time.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, I got a list of names for you then.
Definitely exchange. I'm always looking for new music. How long have you been like performing? Like, I know you've done music for a while, but I mean, like, when you finally decided to just kind of get out there and
Probably about 5 years, I think. Yeah, I guess about 5 years, because I was on and off for a while, and then I got really serious about it. Yeah, and I love open mics. Like, I will always, no matter what happens in the future, open mics will always be where it feels like home, because you have all those people trying new stuff out, and that's where the nitty gritty is.
I think that's like a big difference, I say, with music open mics and comedy open mics.
Oh.
Like the music open mics, I feel like they're just like so much warmer, and I don't know, like you're all just playing music, you're all just having fun like that. Sometimes comedy open mics, you make your friendships, you connect with people at the same time. Sometimes there's just like this like coldness to it, and it's just like we're all doing this for the same purpose.
Why is it like a competitive atmosphere kind of?
No, because in a sense, most people are just focused on what they're going to do. So they're not even paying attention to what you're doing. Depending on the mic, you might get some feedback if you get a good mic and you become a regular there. But if you are like first time walking into a mic, sometimes it's a little different. I feel like with music, you go up with the guitar. Some point, you might be playing with somebody else. And over the course of the night, you'll have some fun with that.
And
we're not really going out to the back to tell each other jokes.
Oh. I haven't been to many comedy ones. The last one I went to was to see my almost brother-in-law, Will Anderson, perform in Kingston. And one of the guys pointed to me and Elizabeth, my girl, and he was like, "Oh, you guys are like typical lesbians," or something like that. And then Elizabeth's little brother was sitting there, and he was like, "What are you, the cameraman?"
Yeah.
And he's like 17, so that was awkward.
Does that happen often or whatnot?
Which part of it?
I guess, do you notice people's eyes on you?
Oh yeah. Yeah, my girlfriend's hot. Yeah. She a sexy mofo. Yeah, we're good together. And I enjoy the way she looks anyway. Yeah. And she likes the way I look. And other people like it too. That's how it goes. We haven't got any offers to be cameramen yet, but I'm open.
Times are tough. If we get another coronavirus, you're gonna have to go the way of OnlyFans, like most celebrities. That's what you're gonna have to do.
It's true. It's true. She won't let me put a mirror on the ceiling, so we got to get different angles. She's gonna kill me.
She's like, "Oh, that's what you want." Okay.
No.
No, you guys are cute together. And I guess she supports your music career also and all that.
Very much so. She designed my cards, which are also sexy. And yeah, she's just like the most supportive person I've ever had in my life.
That's important, and especially in the entertainment field, to have that like support, like somebody is just gonna keep it real with you at the end of the day.
It's true, and she's in marketing, so that will come in handy as well. We're a good team in a lot of things, like even with the horses and stuff like that.
You and the horses, yeah, you're an adventurous, outdoor adventure kind of girl.
Yes, I am.
Yes, you're like, your first videos on YouTube were really you just hiking and going through the woods. Flexing, of course. You had to flex a couple times. I saw that.
Flex?
Yep.
You mean like this?
Going off the guns. But you did your own thing. And it's very obvious and carries on even with the music and all that. You can see the similarities between the two of how you live and carry your life, how you just play on stage and all that.
Yeah, I've always been, I don't know, I was raised with so many different rules, you know what I mean? Like you have to do this way and da-da-da-da-da. So no, I've always had my own way. And even, try to, like you would try to respect things and other people's beliefs and stuff like that, but I'm going to do my own thing. Fuck y'all. You're miserable anyway, so I'm going to go over here and not be miserable and enjoy my life. And I truly do. Oh my goodness. You would never believe how angry I used to be all the time. Oh.
I can believe it, because I think the part of you being so cool thing is that you kind of carry yourself with a comfortability that it's like, I've been through my shit. I'm here now. I'm just going to enjoy what's in front of me. You're more in the now than probably in the past, like so many of us.
That's a pretty accurate description. Like I've been through a lot of shit, but if it weren't for that, I wouldn't be who I am. So really, as cliche as it is, no regrets. I've surpassed challenges I thought I never would. So that's another thing, like losing my family and everything like that. Once you lose your family, like everything you knew, I mean, aunts, uncles, grandparents, all that, then once I got to the point where I didn't care what they thought, and I didn't care if they were in my life, because fuck them. I mean, what good are they anyway? Then it's very easy to live life, because if you could say, fuck your family, fuck everybody. I mean, in figure of speech, I still, I have love, but I don't need your approval, pretty much. I'm living this life to be happy. I spent a long time not happy.
No, understand completely. I definitely grew up with my strict beliefs and all that religiously. But like I said, I always had that idea that like, no, that's not how I'm going to be. And sometimes when you get that freedom, you go too far. You can. And it's like, all right. I went too far this way. Let me come back a bit.
That was my 20s.
Yeah, that's it. I usually joke it's the raging 20s, and like the 30s, I just call it the dirty 30s, because I look back in my 20s sometimes, I'm just like, oof, Oof, I feel like I need to take a shower. Oof, yeah, I did some ratchet shit in my 20s. I'm just like, oof, okay.
Yeah, a big thing, like when I hit my 30s, which I love.
Word up onto that, because a lot of people are like, oh man, I'm gonna be 30. It's like, yeah, 30s are killing it for me right now. I
Dude,
actually love the 30s.
this without the stupidity of your 20s, I mean, it's lovely. It is. You don't make the same mistakes. I mean, if you've worked on yourself, there's
Yeah,
some idiots that just keep doing it till they die, but like you don't make the same mistakes you made in your 20s. And I made some, yeah. I tried to substitute a lot of things for love.
yeah.
And I didn't feel like I was even worth love or anything like that.
It's that growth that you usually got to do. Probably you with music probably wouldn't have been as secure as it is now. Like, you probably wouldn't have not just the confidence, but maybe commitment to
It's
actually
true.
invest into it. And sometimes
Yeah.
you got to go through.
Yeah. And even just to make that album, I had a whole plan. I wanted to drive. I wanted to make more money because I never really made money. I wasn't raised learning how to deal with money or with value on education, anything like that. So I started to think, what do I love to do? I love to drive, and I'm good at it. So I started out driving school buses. That was cool. That's how I got my license. But people raise their kids like shit these days.
Mm.
And instead of crashing a school bus full of children, I I got a new job.
I like how you worded that to also not indict yourself.
I didn't do it. I didn't do
You didn't do it.
it. But like I hear about people driving school buses, while they're drinking and stuff. I understand. I don't condone it, but you should just get a new job like a responsible adult, which is what I did. Yes. And but I got a hazmat job. So I learned how to drive like roll-off trucks and dump trucks, excavators, vacuum trucks, super vac trucks, all this stuff. And roll-off trucks were my favorite things to drive because it's kind of like a game, really. They have these big rectangular metal dumpsters of different sizes that you can pull up onto the truck and drop them places and dump them and stuff. And I ended up liking that. So I got more jobs with roll-off trucks. And with the money that I made, I was able to do the album. So it took a lot of dedication.
A lot of work.
A lot of work. I had to really put my mind to it. I enjoyed it along the way. I learned so much. I was humbled very much.
Yeah, that's a whole new process. Because that is the next step. It's not like you're just doing open mics or doing little shows and all that. That's like next step in commitment.
Exactly. I do miss performing in front of people. I can't wait till we can again.
Yeah.
Like we used to.
Restraint and
Yes.
hence, I guess you could say. Everyone has their own feelings on it.
Yeah, soon it will. But yeah, the album Stop Breathing, You're Turning Me On, which describes me completely. Someone told me it's a lot more dark than they would have expected, knowing me. Because I'm not a dark person. I'm not a very serious person unless you're in a relationship with me. Then I'm serious when I need to be. And really the songs on the album, they were my way of processing what I had gone through and getting it out so it wasn't just stuck in me, and making it beautiful. Like the song Hurt Me, I think it's my favorite song on the whole album. It's just one day I realized I'd been trying to be in relationships with people, and I realized the people that I would choose from the very start, I knew that it wouldn't work. I mean, we all ask when we get in relationships, we're asking people to love us. So I thought about it and came to the fact that if I asked to be hurt, then I would get what I want. So I went from that. Then I heard this podcast. I listened to this woman, Sex with Emily, talks about sex and relationships and stuff. which is why I'm so good at it. No, just kidding. And she had a person who played in a S&M show. I think it was on Cinemax or Showtime or something like that. And yeah, I think that stuff is kind of sexy. So I put that into the song, kind of. Yeah. So it's dark, it's sexy, and I love the violin. The violin in that song is beautiful.
I remember like the first show when we were discussing, you're like, I might try and get my violinist or something. I was like thinking,
Right.
was it Antique that was the one? I was wondering about it, and then prior to the show, I did go through your album a little to listen so I could refresh myself because it's also been a while. And I still need to get the vinyl and CD from you at some point. Because that was what that's what I was going to get from you for the show. I was going to buy that for you.
Right.
I guess my way of relating would be sometimes when I tell jokes, people are surprised at what I'm saying because they're not used to that. Somebody at some point who's known me for a while, they'll be like, I can't believe you said that in front of your mom and dad. It's like, come on. I'm in my 30s now. They kind of know. They've been there. They've seen the worst. There's no point in hiding things from them at this point and stuff. So it's shocking for people, mainly because they already have their own view of you or something. Mm-hmm. So when something like that, where they know this is real, comes out, it takes a while for them to actually process that.
That's a good point. It's a really good point. Yeah, but I love exploring my darkness privately, usually. But like, because everyone has it, and we can't really run away from it. It's better to just think it through and process that stuff before it becomes anger and all sorts of things.
But I think it's that like kind of bravado thing where it's like if you admit that you have it, that's like a weakness or something. Mm-hmm. Most people don't want to like show that weakness part.
Right. And those are the pussies. No, just kidding. I'm sorry. What do we say these days? Those are the cowards.
I think it's okay for you to say it. I think I can't say it. I think that's how this works.
Oh, okay. All right. Cool.
All right. I can't talk about what I don't have. So you're safer to get. I don't want to get Me Too'd. I still haven't reached that level that I can survive that. Okay.
I don't think you're the Me Too kind of guy. Don't worry.
Thank you.
But yeah, I have a very strong view about people that do not communicate and don't acknowledge their feelings and pretend everything's okay when they're dying inside. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. I mean,
because it takes. That. Yeah. What'd you say?
I said I was totally that person.
I was too. I totally was, and I'm glad I'm not now. But like, it's the coward's way. You're never gonna grow if you don't attack that stuff. You know.
I think you mentioned it, kind of like just accept. You're trying to find that acceptance from people, but at the same time, you haven't accepted yourself. Mm-hmm. So it's never gonna matter. Right. It's not gonna really mean anything.
Yeah, and it's funny because I don't think anyone actually says to us, no, don't take care of yourself. That's greedy. That's selfish. Mm-hmm. But it's just, maybe it's because of the things we've grown up seeing. I don't know. But the way I look at it, if you're not at your best, if you're not good, then how are you supposed to help other people and be there for them if you don't take care of yourself?
No, I think sometimes I felt greedy if I thought about myself. Mm-hmm. And I was like, always probably insult that could always get under my skin, where somebody's like, oh, you're doing this for yourself or something like that, where it's like, I don't know, a question of character in a way or something in my brain.
Right.
So it was always one of those things, oh, anybody could ask me for help with anything, but I'm not going to ask anybody. That was, but at the same time, it's just sometimes I was just like, I know there's no point in me talking about this with somebody that doesn't get it. Mm-hmm. So why am I going to do it?
Yeah.
That's where music and comedy come in. Those are my way of just letting it out. Whoever gets it, gets it.
Mm-hmm. I like that. Whoever gets it, gets it. And it was kind of like we put out some kind of call, and whoever accepts it, we become friends with.
Pretty much. Like, I have my longtime friends, all that, but I've always been honest that I'm probably closer to my friends from college just because I think we all met around a time where we were trying to figure things out.
Mm-hmm.
And when I get support from home, it's a different type of support from them, where it's always been like, they're not just saying they believe in me. They actually, I'm sure my friends at home, they believe in me, but there's other friends that are just like, it's a different type of support.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's the best way for me to describe it or something.
Okay.
But, you know, you find those people along the way eventually that like you can lean on, and you don't feel guilty about it because you know it's like it's okay, I guess. Takes
Yeah,
time.
it's true. And I found like as I get older, the quality of friends,
Hmm.
it's heightened as I get older because I put up with less shit, you know?
Yeah.
Like all the friends I've let go, I have no, I really don't regret it because they're just stuck in one place.
That's
And
it.
usually they're pretty selfish people, like really selfish. It's all about them.
They can't see from your point of view sometimes. They're the ones that would make you feel guilty
Mm-hmm.
sooner than others.
Exactly.
That's how you know.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have like a favorite performance that you've done?
That I've done or been to, which is
No. Do you have a favorite performance that you've like done or something, like at a show or something?
okay. That's a good question. This is going back now because I haven't performed since COVID. Um, I used to host an open mic at the cafeteria in New Paltz, which no longer exists. But I gave some pretty good performances there. But really, it's always been more about the people, because me and my friend Rebecca Zink, she was the barista at the time at this cafe, and she's a very, very loving person, and I'm a very loving person. So we made that place the most loving place you would ever go. It was amazing. Like you stepped in and you just felt it. It was the most comfortable place you could be. And I miss those days. And I gave some of my best performances there. And that was before, the album started and stuff. But a lot of the songs that are on the album, I played there before I got it out. Because it was very, very comfortable. Like I'll play at places I really did like what's it called? Frank's Cabernet Franc.
Frank's.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I liked the atmosphere there. And I liked how there were two stories and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that actually was not to even suck up to you. I think that was one of my favorites. I had a lot of fun that night.
Yep, I believe I have pictures of you dancing. I think when Gail was playing and
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I danced with so many drunk people.
I'm glad you had fun though. But no, you definitely seem to have that. You do have that energy, so I can imagine that that open mic. I can get why that would probably be one of your favorites. That like personalness.
Yeah.
Like, hey, welcome. Hey, what's up?
Yeah, like if I could, I'd like talk to every single person there if I had the time. After every performance, that's what I like to do, talk to people. But there's not enough time. There's never enough time.
Somebody, when I still had Snapchat, I was following somebody and they were at a show or something, and there you were performing on stage or something. Somebody was watching you, and they
I wonder who that was.
Oh my God, I love this girl and all that. I was like, oh shit. And then is it the Copper Barn in Middletown? Copper is some like restaurant or something.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody I know that works there messaged me, was like, hey, I think that female singer Antique and her girlfriend showed up to eat. So I get like little updates from people that have been to the shows or something that work around, and then they like see you. They're like, hey.
That's awesome. Yeah, I remember that. It was a girl, right?
Yep.
Yeah, because she seated us way up. It was nice. Mm-hmm. That was cool.
You leave a memory.
I like that.
And I remember showing like people pictures and posters like, who's this? And that's why I said, no, you have this cool factor that people like point out. It's like, who's this? It's the power of the Mohawk.
The power of the Mohawk. I believe in it. I ever tell you about my Mohawk?
No. What?
I went back to a Mohawk because really, Jehovah's Witnesses don't have mohawks. So that was my first thing. So
First.
I couldn't be mistaken as one. And two, really the bigger thing is it was kind of a spiritual thing. Kind of like, oops, the sides of the head are shaved symbolically so you can take in knowledge and wisdom. The top of the mohawk is as high as you can make it because it's something to reach for. It's like you're always reaching higher, always trying to get better at something, improve yourself. But yeah, it's all about listening for me, listening to the wisdom and taking that in, and always pushing myself, trying to do better.
So way better description than what I tell people is that this is my midlife crisis, I guess you could say. You know what? I'm going to take yours. Most of the people probably won't hear this, so I can get away with it. I'm going to claim it as my own.
You better credit
someday,
me.
Someday, somebody's going to be like, yo, you stole that from Antique. I was like, oh, shit. Oh, you listen to the podcast? Wow. Right.
Now, my goal is to have a salt and pepper mohawk when I get old. It's going to be awesome.
When we were talking about your music, I think the best way is like a new wave retro, I guess. That's what you exude and everything, I think.
It's like on two different sides of the spectrum.
Yeah.
In retro. That's okay, because I'm black and white. I'm all sorts of things. It's really, I could never fit into one category, even if I tried. The world's too big. I can't wait. When the world calms down with the whole COVID thing, I really want to travel a lot. Right now, I'm learning French.
Oh yeah.
I'm really into a lot of French music right now, and I love it. I've always loved French. I've gotten people have asked me if I was French because they said I had some kind of an accent. I always found that interesting. It happened more than once, but I think it's just because I don't open my mouth that wide. I
don't know. A lot of people have asked me if I was gay, so I don't know what I exude.
For me, like, I don't care what the fuck you are unless I want to fuck you. You know what I mean? And I love you, but I don't want to fuck you. I'm sorry.
Noted.
But let's circle back to people thinking you're gay.
Okay.
I find a common theme that nice guys and guys that are not threatening, like, I don't think anyone would ever Me Too you because you're just not that kind of person.
Probably part of the reason I'm intimidated by you is that I've always been intimidated by Black women also, for some reason.
But I'm only half Black.
I don't know, just because I never felt like, I don't know, I fit in.
Where did you grow up?
Born in Montana, but I pretty much have grown up generally in New York, up in this area most of my life.
Oh, that explains it. Yeah.
Well, there's other Black families, but there was one main Black family, and that was my friend Keenan, my token Black friend. And I'm like, a memory for me was like 8th grade, our like big field trip, which was I guess school year was like in the same time that September 11th happened. So we weren't going to Washington. We went to Philly. And at some point, like the star basketball player for our grade, Black kid, obviously. And the big Hispanic kid, they pulled me aside and they started asking me why I was betraying the race because I bought a spike bracelet. And so there was always just like, all right, I can't be accepted with this because I wasn't big into rap, I guess you could say. I mean, like I was in like middle school when like Nelly and Ja Rule and stuff like that was coming out, and I was just like, yeah, I'm not a fan. I was more into conscious rap when I got into college and stuff like that. And then I found a love for soul from my fat white Jewish friend because we would go into the bar. We would go into the bars, and the first thing we do, we'd go to the jukebox, and we play Earth, Wind, and Fire September.
Dude, I have a story about that, but continue.
Yeah. And that ultimately became our song that we do. For my friend Keenan's bachelor party, we went to Korean barbecue, and I just kept staring out the window, and I was like, is that one of those karaoke things like you always see in the movies or something? And I kept talking about it. So when we got out, we just went across the street and we got into an elevator with a guy and we're going up, and Keenan and his brother are talking to the guy like, hey, how you doing? Yeah, it's his birthday. He's getting married, but he's just like, we're gonna use it's his birthday for the entire night and all that. And we get up, he's our bartender for the karaoke room and all that. And it's the proudest moment of my life. We got 100% on Earth, Wind, and Fire September.
Oh shit!
Got it proud. I'll never perform it again. Out of I can't beat that. But yeah, what is your Earth, Wind, and Fire September?
Now, so we had my Elizabeth's little brother, has the most amazing mind. I fucking love it. We had him over, and I think that song came on. It was on shuffle or whatever, and he said, I think that when we're all born, this song is in our head.
Yes. All right. You can tell Elizabeth her brother's awesome.
Right? We're just born with that song in our head. And then some of us forget it and some of us don't. I think the ones that don't forget it are the happiest people.
But no, that song has followed through. Earth, Wind, and Fire has a special place in my heart.
You know it.
But we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we'll dive a little deeper into your growth in music, what you did during 2020, as most people had to navigate and survive through it, and maybe what you may have planned for 2021. We'll see. We'll be right back after this. And we're back. Hey, guys. I hope you all have been enjoying the episode so far. We have much more to discuss with Miss Antique.
And how.
But we did end off, and I did bring up asking you about your 2020, because a lot of the people that I've interviewed, are performers. So there's always been the question of like, what were you doing to stay busy and potentially keep sane during those times? Because, as you've talked, music was like a great release for you and all that. And I've seen, a lot of people kind of lose it during this time period of 2020 and whatnot, and not being able to do what makes them happy. And sometimes they can find something to replace that. Sometimes they can't. And I'm curious as to what kept you sane during this time.
No, you have to phrase it right.
I have to phrase it right?
You have to say, what did you do during 2020?
Okay. What did you do during 2020?
Well, her name was Elizabeth.
The setup. Okay.
No, but I didn't work, and I loved it so much because I didn't like the job that I had. But I started to learn French, which is awesome. I love it. And yeah, a lot of house stuff. Not too much.
But I did see the horses and all that.
Oh, right.
Yes. You have going into that. How did that come about?
Okay. So there's a place in Bouleville, a horse place, and the woman that passed away, the woman who owned it passed away, and her daughter took it over and bought some horses for the place, and they needed some training. So I offered my services and I started training horses again. So that's how I got back into it. And it's funny because I kind of like put out in the universe that I wanted to be involved with horses again, because it's been a long time. Yeah.
How'd you first get into that?
When I was young, a friend of mine had a horse, and I've been obsessed with horses since I knew what they were, really. I had a whole wall full of horse posters. It was creepy, but that didn't last too long. They made me take it down. And I started working in barns in different places, equestrian centers, in my late teens, and yeah, I went on from there. I picked up skills and studied like horse psychology and such, and yeah, I got pretty good at training them.
Horse psychology? They're like
like the way they think. They're not humans. They have a different way of thinking.
I was gonna say, like, trying to understand how they actually think and work and
Yeah.
all that.
And how they communicate and how to communicate with them. Yeah, because it's kind of like learning a new language, you know? And you can't get mad at an animal when you don't speak the same language and you're telling them to do something and they don't know what you're telling them to do. It's funny. I see a lot of people get very angry with them. And I mean, their brains are so small. All you got to do is figure out how they speak and speak to them that way. Then they're like, oh, that's what you want. All right. But a lot of people don't have the patience for that. And they get aggressive, like, I'm the alpha, which, yeah, you want their respect because without it, you'll get hurt. But
Yeah.
you don't need fear to teach a horse,
Have you kept busy with music at all, or anything with that?
Yeah, I'm working on my next album. I'm very excited. It's going to be, I think, a bit more electronic, and there's going to be an accordion in it. I know so far.
No, accordion.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. The first song I'm working on is a love song, and yeah, I think we're going to go into the studio with it next month, I believe.
And you're back to working, I believe.
Yeah, I'm back to driving.
Things are slowly getting back to kind of a normalcy, I guess, for you.
Yeah, it's just performing that I haven't been back at yet. I heard there was an open mic, but like, no, unless everyone brings their own microphones, I'm not down for it.
No, that's understandable.
Yeah, I made a lot of investment into equipment to get this next album done because I wanted to do a lot of it myself, and I wanted more. I wanted different sounds. Who's that?
That'll probably be the neighbors.
They sound angry.
No, it's I got this place through rehab, and I knew the second I came in here what this place was about, just because he's like, yeah, this is a place full of recovery, all that with people and all that. It's like, all right, cool. They show me the apartment. There's like a dresser there. I open the first drawer. There's a little bag of white powder just sitting right there in the drawer.
Are you kidding?
And I was just like, yeah, okay, all right, I know what this is about.
Were you in rehab?
Yes, I was in rehab because of my DWIs.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I have 3 of them, 3-time stupidity.
Wow.
So, as I said, my 20s were a wild time. Not my best showing.
Mm.
This is better than like some of the other things that have happened. There used to be a guy, I don't know what it was, his leg was messed up or something.
Mm-hmm.
So he had like a limp or something, and it took him forever to come up the stairs. And he lived right above me, and I'm on the 2nd floor. So he had to go up to the 3rd floor. And I knew whenever he was around because he'd start singing. He's like, and I know it's a song that he loved because I heard him one day say, he's like, "Yo, man, I love that song. It's my favorite song." And I still don't know what the fuck the song is. But he just like, I'd hear him coming up the stairs and he'd just be like, "No, there's something in my throat." That's the only line I ever heard this guy say. And he would just repeat it over and over again. "There's nothing in my throat." All the time. I'd hear him as he's like limping up the stairs, singing it. I hear him above my fucking head sometimes. And my one friend thought I was joking about it or something. And he came to help me move something for one of the shows. And he starts hearing the guy above me. It's like, oh man, this house. But rent's cheap, so I still take it. I got to save up the money so I can actually do something more. So
that's good. I used to live in a place in Bloomingburg. Rented a room. One of my housemates was a cokehead. Another one was a nurse. It was quite a diverse group of people. Now, once you go past pretty much Middletown, things get pretty interesting. Like I told you about driving up to, what city is Frank's Cabernet in? Parksville. Okay, drive it up there. I saw someone put a dead coyote in the bed of their truck. Like, but now I think about it and I'm like, that's probably some good fur. You can make a good like blanket or shawl out of that.
It's a different, further upstate New York. Like people think they have like a view of like, oh yeah, upstate this way. It's like, nah, there's some pretty big country folk once you start going upstate. Like with New, just because I say I'm from New York doesn't mean I'm from one of the boroughs. There's a whole nother side of New York.
It's funny. It made me think like how you were talking about not fitting in. I kind of I love it because I can fit in anywhere. Because like I was in the horse business, so I like country music and I love country folk and all that stuff. Rednecks. I have an accent when I'm around them too much, and then like I can hang out with whoever the white nerds, and I don't know any black nerds, but oh wait, no, anime guys.
All right,
like,
cool. Yeah,
whatever
just,
color or culture.
keep on shitting on me, Antique. Keep on shitting on me.
Hey,
yeah, this is why I was so scared to talk to you. All right,
I like
anime.
I like anime. That's what I'm saying. Like I'm into so many different things because I love the differences of people. Like I like to say I'm so anti-racist that I'm racist because I'm just so I love Chinese culture and Japanese culture, Indian culture, French culture, all these things. I love what makes us different because everyone is that way for a reason. Like they live in a certain way for a reason. They eat a certain kind of food because it grows in their country and they love it. And they like, I don't understand why I don't understand racism at all. I really don't. But I like that I can go, I'm not that into rap, but I appreciate it. It's just really angry and I'm not angry anymore. Like I was really big into punk rock for a long time. And I was into metal a little bit. There was this band I was in when I was in college called Kitty. And
Kitty?
Yeah. You ever heard of them?
I think so. Like once or twice. Like
yeah, it was a while ago. But I loved it because, she'd be like and then there'd be a pretty voice. And that's what I loved. I like the mix of those two.
I generally like that with any type of, if you can mix not so much genres but feelings, feel in music or something. That's what I like. Like it could be just a straight, like I said, with the metal song, but then they can just break into like a harmony part or something that just like switches up the entire field. And I'm like, all right, cool. The only one that pops in my mind instantly is like System of a Down or something like that. How you could just do the switches and all that, and that's always
respect. Yeah,
it's like, oh, okay. And you like find out the guy's operatically like trained in singing and shit. And like, I think they did like a list, and he's like in that list with like Freddie Mercury and others with like the highest range and musical range for like rock musicians and stuff. They said differenceness. Differenceness. I think I said that right.
Yeah, like those classically trained people that go to become a rap star or whatever. It's pretty neat.
Got to set it up. There's too much of the same, and too many people focus on, I guess, a glorified image of what they should and shouldn't be or something like that. So
true.
I celebrate those that just like, yeah, cool, that's cool. I'm here. I'm gonna do me. Not so tied to that. And usually those are the people who have gone through the most shit because, and that's where that comfortableness goes. Like, I think too many people are afraid of shit going wrong in their life.
Yeah.
They don't realize it's like, you always have shit happen in your life. You just got to face it and deal with it.
It was one of the scariest things when I decided to separate from my husband, because I didn't have a career or anything. I was actually on disability because I used to get these terrible, terrible headaches from a fall. And I had nothing. Like, I didn't know what I was going to do, but I knew that if I didn't get away from this man, I would kill myself. And I'm like, he's not worth killing myself for. What the fuck? So, yeah, changing your life is terrifying sometimes. And I don't know what it was that made me think that I could do it, like succeed. I don't know. I guess I just didn't, I lost that fear because, I mean, when you have a choice between killing yourself or just trying, I guess you're going to try if you want to live, So.
Like, I can relate. It's like you've gone down that path of not giving a shit about yourself in a way.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, well, done this enough. I can get back to this anytime. Let me try.
Right.
Let me see. This is the other thing that everybody keeps on telling me I should do. All right. I've reached the point. I've reached the age. I'll give it a shot. We'll see if they're. I'm not going to let them know that they're right, but I'll keep some pride for yourself there. I mean, I'm speaking for you, totally, completely, not myself at all. Not myself at all.
No, of course not.
No. I'm secure in myself. But it is clear that you've been through a lot of shit, but you don't let that hold you down. You've been able to move and you found a lot of peace. Like you've talked about Liz a lot. And
it's Alyssa.
Sorry.
It's Alyssa Beth, so it's very confusing. I understand.
Alyssa. Oh, okay. All right, I'll remember it. I got it. It's locked in. But you've mentioned her quite a bit, and it's clear that is a pillar of support for you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have like others?
My little sister, the only family member that I do have in my life, she also left the cult. So
was that the one that came to Cabaret Frank's?
Yeah, she was there.
Yes.
Yeah, she's living with me now.
Oh, yeah?
She's a nurse, so I'm glad to have her in my life. Really, when I left, she was too young to leave. So when I left, I mean, like the first time, I wanted to try to be strong enough so that when she left, I could be there for her. And that was really the driving force. And I'm remembering this as I say it. That was the driving force for me becoming a better person for a long, long time, because I know what I went through and I didn't want her to have to go through that alone, because I was so alone. Like I didn't have anyone. It was hard. And because of that, I learned how to deal with a lot of things. So when she did come out and she needed help, I was so happy to be there for her. I'm still happy. Like I'm happy at the person I am because she can look to me as kind of an example in certain ways, a big sister thing.
No, I get that. That's dope.
Yeah.
You always have to have those people that you can lean on and have confidence in you to lean on you back.
Right. Exactly.
Antique, we are in 2021 now. Do you have any goals or plans for this ongoing year and beyond?
This year, I plan on getting an album out. We'll see if it happens this year or next year. We'll see. I'm not a fan of rushing things because nothing good comes when you rush it.
Nope.
And also, I'm enjoying life as well. Like, there are no rules that say, oh, you have to have an album out by this. I mean, if you sign a contract, you do. But I'm not a fan of contracts. So
yeah,
it'll be out when it comes out. It'll be the bomb ass diggity. And I'll be very proud of it. It'll be sexy and upbeat. And yeah, because I invested in a MIDI controller, the fancy Pro Logic program and stuff on the Mac. So yeah, I'm in it and I'm excited about it. But you can get lost in hours and hours of just little details. It's very annoying sometimes.
Oh no, I know from editing these podcasts.
Yeah,
go through all the audio and all that and do little cuts. So no, it's like one of those things. It's like you don't do it. It's not that hard to like forget, but once you get into it, you are embedded.
Yeah, and I love it sometimes, but I feel like there's not enough hours in the day, which is why it'll get done when it gets done.
Don't rush it. That's part of the things of doing your own thing, and we're in a time where it's possible to do your own thing. You don't have to do the traditional. I have to get this record deal to do everything and become this pretty image and all that, where everybody else is controlling it. You get to control it. So
Yeah,
You gotta take advantage.
exactly. That's why I've always wanted to pay for my own music, because I want control. I'm not going to have someone say, it's for someone to mess with your music. It's kind of like, for lack of a better term, rape, because that's your baby. That's yours. It is pure. It is the way you want it. And someone's like, no, it'll sell better if you do this and this and this and this. And with a contract, you know, in certain contracts, you have to let them do it. So no, I'm like, fuck that. I'm gonna do what I want, and I'll be proud of whatever comes of it. And when
Because it's you, it's not somebody else's creation of you.
precisely, and I love getting out there and performing and selling records. Can't wait to be out doing it again. And yeah, it'll happen eventually, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, 2021 is going to be for making music and riding horses and taking care of horses. Yeah.
No, definitely sounds dope.
Maybe getting married, or maybe spring. So I don't know. You got, yeah, I'll let you know.
Yeah. I'll keep track. I'll follow. All
right, cool.
But no, I've definitely kept you here for quite a bit. So
I think you got some good stuff you can use.
I think I got quite a good stuff. I can definitely bring this and put in. But would you like to share where people can find you if they want to learn more or follow your music and find it and all that?
All right, absolutely. You can go to antiquemascara.com and you'll find links to the music there. You can also search Antique Mascara and it'll pop up. The album should pop up. It's called Stop Breathing, You're Turning Me On. And you can also order the vinyl and CD on the website. There's a link to that as well. And on Instagram and Facebook, there's Antique Mascara. It's all Antique Mascara.
That's it. At Antique Mascara everywhere.
Yes.
That's it. And guys, of course, if you're listening to this podcast, great. You found the podcast. Hit that like and subscribe.
Good job.
If you want to get to know me a little better and follow other things that I'm doing, you can find me on Instagram at TommyTomP88 or on Twitter at the TommyTom88. Antique, it was a joy doing this. Once again, thank you for agreeing to do this interview, even though, you know, you're too cool for me.
Oh, please. That's how you get all the ladies, right?
See, this is what, you know what, you can't have lesbian friends because they already know your game plans and all that. They're great wingmen until the end, because then all the girls you're going for want them, and then you get cocked. You get cocked.
I tell you, advice to men from lesbians, it's going to be a thing.
I'll happily produce that show. I'll happily produce it. Thank you guys, and we'll catch you all next time.
I'm Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Split personality, you know it's I. You never seen my kind, never seen a fucking sliver or a slice. I'm the butcher, choice cuts, know I'm nice. You got beef? I got waggle with a knife. Now I'm gonna be wrapping up bodies up at night. Like Ray Charles, y'all know I'm out of sight. Now I'm gonna be slaying niggas, cause you know I love the life. Yo, you gotta read between the lines. I'm only gonna be moving when I'm read through all the signs. Johnny Mnemonic, I got an upgraded mind. This is for the rebels and their revolutionary minds. Cybernetic linguistics, you know I'm on my mind. Prototype the new dimension, man, that shit is mine. Future is creation and creation is sublime. Make your own legend, only happens with time.